Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I have Coach Simmons here, followed by Xavier Smith. Coach Simmons will open up with a statement and then open to questions.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to see everyone on tonight. Excited to get a win. Obviously, we didn't play our best ball, but at the end of the day, it feels really good to be back in the win column. Feels good to continue our home winning streak, one of the longest in the nation. So obviously, that's been a goal of ours, and we're going to make sure we kept that intact. So defensively, I thought we played really good football. Gave up a couple of plays early, and then obviously the late touchdown. But all in all, I thought those guys competed hard, played at a high level, and showed the capabilities of that respective unit. Offensively, left a lot to be desired. Definitely got to play better across the board. Up front, got to fix some things as far as our communication. At quarterback, got to be much more consistent. Throwing the ball. At running back, obviously we had some guys down. Gave Dre Francis and Cameron Seeger, 2 freshman running backs, a chance to get some work in, which positive for them. Out wide, Xavier Smith made a ton of plays. But outside of him, I was disappointed in the playmaking ability of our wideouts. We got to play better. 2 weeks in a row, the guys have challenged us one-on-one, and we didn't win our fair share of 50-50 balls. And so we definitely got to work hard in this bye week to get back to being explosive on that side of the ball. Special teams wise, I thought they played really well, except one kickoff return that we let the ball get outside of us, and they got it out to about the 30, 35-yard line. But Jose made all his field goals. Most of his kickoffs, except one, went through the end zone. And then Fadul did a really good job punting the ball. So special teams wise, I thought we had a really good phase, good night. And then defensively, I thought played pretty well, and offensively left a lot to be desired. So we'll use this bye week coming up to rest up, to get healthy, but to get back to basic fundamentals, because obviously we're going to need that. As everyone else we play is our level. All conference games except one, which is South Carolina State, who's a conference champion. So definitely got to play better football than we played tonight if we want to continue to show voters and decision makers that we're one of the top teams in FCS football. That if it comes to it, deserving of a playoff berth. But if Jackson State loses 2 games, that we'll position ourselves to be back in the conference race to represent the East in the SWAC championship. So appreciate you guys, and definitely open up the floor for questions.
How you doing, Coach?
Hey, Gerald, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to ask you about the beginning of the game. Of course, y'all had a few lapses. Y'all had the early interception, and then also y'all allowed Albany to score early in the game, which took the lead for y'all. Just tell me a little bit about things that were giving y'all trouble early on.
Well, just lack of execution. We had K-Dot running wide open down the field, and Jeremy severely underthrows him, which leads to an interception. And then defensively had a bust, was led to an early touchdown. After that, the defense was able to settle down. Jeremy was able to settle down, but he still missed way too many throws. Trying to be perfect, just those guys running wide open. You throw it out there, give him a chance to go make a play. So got to continue to work hard on fundamentals. He's capable of playing much better than he's played. He showed that against Carolina. We just got to get him back to having confidence in what we're doing and trusting his time and his ability, his arm talent. He still got a chance to be a very elite quarterback. We just got to, like Coach Black always says, we got to make the layups. And tonight we missed a couple of layups.
Coach, as you guys try to rewind, regroup, talk about the advantage of having that off week to help you kind of like to that spot that on center.
Well, a bye week could be a gift and a curse, right? If you take full advantage of it, guys rest their bodies up. Guys really commit themselves to, getting a little extra work in the film room, extra work in the weight room, extra treatment, and really taking this time to get caught up academically is what we want to do. And then from a recruiting standpoint, give ourselves a chance to get ahead in recruiting. If we waste that time, guys feel like it's an off week. I told them just a minute ago, it's not an off week. It's a bye, right? Bye just simply means that we don't have an opponent that will play in this coming weekend. But we do have an opponent that we're going to face all week. And that's that opponent of complacency. That's that opponent of patting ourselves on the back, feeling like we've arrived. Obviously, we still have a lot of work to do to be the team that we're capable of being. And we're going to need every day of work this coming week, even the days that we are not practicing. We're going to need all those work days to perfect our craft to get better at the fundamentals and the little things to give ourselves a chance to be the team that, again, we're capable of being.
Good evening, Coach. Congratulations on the win. Just how impressed were you by the offensive line to open up the running lanes and allowed Francis and the other backs to start driving the ball down the field, which led ultimately to, better passing options as the game progressed?
Well, I thought early on we did a pretty decent job. Jalen McLeod had a few big runs before he went down with a tailbone injury. DeAndre Francis had popped a few runs once we got our tempo going. And so, we were able to move the ball and run it a little bit, which opened up the passing game. Was really disappointed in our running game the second half. We really didn't commit ourselves to coming off the ball, to communicating. We ended up taking some guys out once we saw defensively that we were playing really well and that they really didn't have an answer for us. So we ended up playing a bunch of freshmen up front. But again, there's no excuse. Those guys have been practicing every day since training camp. And when you're in there, you're a starter, right? And so the expectation is that they go in, they play at a high level, they communicate well. But obviously we had some missed calls, some miscommunications, and those things led to us not being as efficient in the running game in the second half as we were in the first half. But we're going to need to be able to run the ball. I truly believe that, which obviously you saw today that it gave our defense a chance to stay fresh and really play at a high level. So we got to commit ourselves to running the football, and that starts up front. And, of course, trickles over to the running backs and tight ends, and then being able to win the perimeter as well.
Coach, you touched on a few of the successes obviously throughout the night, but to be able to, certainly get a win, which you talked about was so needed, but to also tonight at times, get what you needed out of all three phases. Just how big was that for each to kind of step up to be able to at least go into that bye the right way? Well,
I think in spurts, we showed that we have a chance to be, dominant in all three phases. We just didn't do it consistently. And that's the thing that this team has to understand, that in order for us to play to our capabilities, we have to work on consistency. We can't have one drive offensively where we're communicating well, we're coming off the ball, we're making, accurate time to throws, we're, plucking the ball out of the air, being dynamic on the perimeter. And then the next drive, we drop passes, we don't compete for a jump ball, we underthrow balls, we don't communicate up front. That's not the mark of a consistent, dominant football team. So we have to figure out as a coaching staff where those breakdowns are occurring and fix them. Like I said, we got a week to fix them because the next time we take the field, it'll be against a tough Alabama A&M football team that obviously is coming in with revenge on their minds, being that we came back from down 17 to beat them last season. So definitely got a lot to fix. I was impressed with the special teams unit, but we got to continue to build upon that, right? We can't rest on our laurels. Got to just continue to stay hungry and commit ourselves to being the best unit in America.
Hey, Coach, what did you think of the response of your team from last week to this week?
I thought that they were able to kind of focus in on what we needed to do, right? Don't think they really carried the emotional low or letdown of a big loss, which we had last week. They were able to kind of bounce back. I thought, especially on a short week, that the guys did a really good job of responding. I thought practices were intense. I thought they were enthusiastic. We just got to get ourselves, used to, again, playing high-level football for 60 minutes, right? That's the standard. That's the expectation. Not one quarter, not a half, but for 60 minutes of football, play Rattler football, which is attention to detail, discipline, outplaying our opponent, and being playmakers, right? We had the interception on defense, which was great. We got to the quarterback a few times on defense. Again, special teams-wise, made all of our kicks. Thought Xavier Smith had a phenomenal game on offense. But again, across the board, there's some guys that, we want more out of. David Manigold's a guy that's shown that he's a big play threat. And, he didn't come down with those two big balls in the end zone. He's got to make those. And he understands that. Trey Davis, he had one hit him in the hands. He's got to come down with it. Jeremy missed a few opportunities to really hit some big balls. So, again, we just got to get ourselves back to, detail-oriented football. If we do that, we have talent, we have the playmakers to be dynamic in all three phases. But again, it doesn't happen just by rolling the ball out there and playing. We gotta practice that way, and we gotta focus in and commit ourselves on game day. But all in all, definitely excited to get a win.
Coach, today in the second quarter, y'all got y'all first lead of the season, and y'all also got y'all first forced turnover in the season. Just tell me about those things and finally be able to mark those off the list for the season.
Yeah, I think our defense definitely picks it up a notch when we play here at home, right? That late touchdown, was disappointing, but obviously holding those guys to 7 points throughout really 3.5 quarters. And so again, they take pride in keeping people out of the end zone here at Bragg. And we got a chance again to really continue to build and grow and build upon that. So again, it's exciting. It's always good to play with a comfortable lead. A little bit disappointed in the 4-minute drive there at the end, wasn't able to really manufacture a first down. But again, I thought having a comfortable 16-point lead going into late into the fourth quarter, gave us the ability to kind of not relax, but get more conservative on offense and make sure that we just, didn't lose the game. So, sometimes you got to win ugly, and that wasn't the prettiest win, but obviously a win nevertheless.
And also, Coach DeAndre Francis, he took on really the lead back role. He averaged over four yards per carry. So just tell me about him. And I also didn't see Terrell Jennings out there. I know you said Jalen McLeod went out with a tailbone injury. Just tell me about DeAndre being the lead running back, and give me a little update on Terrell Jennings also.
Yeah, so AJ Davis was out, with the ankle sprain. Terrell Jennings got a little bit of turf toe. He could have gone had we, pushed him to go, but definitely good to rest him up and get him back full speed. And then Jay McLeod was having a pretty good game before he went down, with the tailbone injury. So that thrust DeAndre Francis into action, and again, we tell the guys all the time, right? He's going into the game, he's a 4. He's the number 4 running back, going into training camp, going into the season. Well, before you know it, you're the featured guy, right? And so again, really excited, happy for him that he was able to go in and have a pretty big game. Ran the ball hard, had some explosive runs, and really gave our offense a chance to get going, right? He's not the biggest guy, much like Bishop Bonnet, but runs hard, has some explosiveness to him. And, we're going to need some of that big play threat as the season progresses. So really excited about him. Obviously still has a lot to learn, but, again, was happy he was one of the bright spots of today on offense.
And mentioning that, Coach, and man, you got the question right on the nose. Will we see more of that as far as from Francis filling kind of that Bishop Bonnet role, wherein he's a little quicker, he's a little faster, he's got that little bit of extra juice? Will we potentially see more of that during the season?
Yeah, I think so. I think the more he progresses, the more he learns what's going on. Again, it takes a lot more to play running back in this offense than just to be able to carry the ball and be explosive, right? We have protection rules he has to understand. We have routes that he has to understand to complement our passing game. We have an extensive screen game, obviously, that he has to understand. So just knowing all the little things about the offense will give him a chance to have that. They have a bigger role. And so he is the one back that we have that has that home run ability, that if he sees the crease, he can hit it and take it the distance. Whereas the other backs are big, physical, more down the hill, one-cut guys. So it is nice to have a little bit of lightning, a whole bunch of thunder in that backfield right now, but it is good to have a little bit of lightning. And the more he continues to progress, I think he'll have a chance to really, help this offense. Any more questions? All right. Well, the man of the hour, Xavier Smith, just walked in, so I'll let him come up and talk about the big game he had today. And we missed him on a few, but appreciate you guys. Look forward to seeing y'all next week.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Zay, what's going on, man?
What's up? What's up? How y'all doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Oh, well.
So today, man, you living up to what your role is. Your role is to be the leading wide receiver. You had 8 catches, 118 yards. Just tell me some things that you were seeing out there on the field that led you to have that good bounce back performance from last week.
It was just coaches finding ways to get me the ball and just drawing up schemes, drawing up plays to, get me open. And that's just kind of what happened tonight. Coach drew it up, and me and Musa, we just executed on those plays that he called.
Congratulations, Xavier, on the win. Just going into tonight's game, just how did you feel, in warmups and then as the game progressed? And did you kind of let the game just flow and come to you, or were you more aggressive in trying to go after it?
Like I always do, I just try to go out there and let the game come to me and let the game flow to me, because I know Coach Simmons, he gonna find ways to try to get me the ball. So I don't really have to go out there and take it. I could just, I take the 5 yards, I take the 5 yards, and sooner or later it'll bust open. Sooner or later a big player comes. So I just try to take what the defense give me. I just try to take, baby steps as the game go. And as the game progresses, I get comfortable. I begin to, relax and just play the game the way I play the game. So, like I said, Moose, he did a good job of finding me when I was open, and that just allowed me to make the play that I made today.
Xavier, Keith Hadley, HBCU Digital. Stark contrast from last week. Last week I was down in Miami, kind of, you know, understandable.
Right.
How has your leadership role grown compared from from last season to this season, where you're a noticeable leader? Like we recognize it.
Just being more vocal. Before in the past, I was quiet and I just wanted to lead by example. But guys on the team, they was telling me I gotta speak up. I gotta, talk to the team. I gotta let the team know, what it takes. And I just say as the year progressed, I just began to talk more. I began to speak up and let the team know how much I care about them, how much, I'm willing to ride for them, because I know they willing to ride for me. So it's basically just me being more vocal, as to where in the past I might have been quiet and just led by example and let my play speak for itself.
Any more questions for Xavier?
Xavier, yes, sir, I'm talking, Mr. Kadir. Xavier, how do you challenge yourself and your brothers to be better than you were today, as this is just a stepping stone into where you're trying to get to at the end of the season?
We can just never settle. Like, although we get a win, it's never good enough. It's never, we never satisfied. We always got to continue to be hungry. We always got to want more for the team, not just for ourselves. We got to want more for the team. And I feel as though if we just continue to be hungry and we continue to just keep grinding, keep working, keep our head down, and at the end of the season, I feel like we'll get everything that we deserve.
Xavier, part of that, just Coach all week stressed how important it was for you guys to just get a win, to just be able to get one. I know it wasn't the prettiest win tonight, but to be able to go into a bye with a win, to have some momentum, just how big is that for you guys?
I think it's extremely big, because it gives us a chance to just relax and come back to grips on the team that we know we have. We know we have a dominant team. We know we have a talented team. So I just feel like this win, it might have just settled us down and say, okay, now let's play football. Okay, now let's get back to the basics, get back to what we was doing in the summer during training camp. So I feel like this win will be good. We got a week to just calm down, relax our minds. And when we get back after the bye week, I feel like we should pick it up and continue to get rolling.
I got one last question for Xavier. Coach Simmons is talking about the drops, and anybody who play receiver definitely familiar with the jugs machine. How do you encourage the receiving core as the leader to maybe do that little bit of extra work, or just do a little bit better so we can improve and see fewer drops during the game?
I had a drop myself, so we all just got to stay out the practice and get extra catches in with the quarterback, and maybe hop on the jump machine together as well. So we all got to do it collectively. It can't just be me telling those guys. Like, they tell me too, when I drop the ball, they get on me about it too. So we all just stay out the practice. We all get extra catches in. And, as time goes on, fewer drops will be made. And, that's kind of the goal. You don't want as many drops at the end of the season as you had at the beginning. And, we striving to have no drops a game. So, we'll continue to stay out the practice with the quarterbacks and get those extra catches in for sure.
Any more questions for Xavier? All right, thank you, Xavier. Thank you, everyone. I'll be sure to send the recording over. And then no press conference this week as we're on a bye. We'll return Monday, the week of the Alabama A&M game. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.